Good day everyone, I'm Erica Jane M. Ramos from BPED 2D. So in this video, I will answer the given question in Activity 1 under Unit 5. So let's start. The first question is, explain the concept of relative timing. How might practitioner use this concept to determine differences between classes of movements? How might the relative timing structure of throwing differ from that of putting the shot? So, a generalized motor program, or GMP, is thought to develop over time and serves as the foundation of generating movements, sequences within a class of movements that share invariant features such as sequence order, relative timing, and relative force. Relevant movements are created by pre-movement specification of movement parameters, including absolute timing, absolute force, and effectors. Relative timing refers to the ordinal relationship between events or comparisons between instants of time. For example, when a movement condition necessitates producing a learned sequence faster or slower than usual. A measure of the temporal structure of a movement in which the ratios among the durations of various movement features are used to define the temporal pattern. Relative timing is an essential, although often overlooked, aspect of perception. The practitioners used to examine the relative timing of every human motion because relative timing is different from one class of movements to another. Throwing darts and putting shot has a different speed in terms of wrist, lower arm, and upper arm. Throwing darts has faster speed than putting a shot. This is called invariant because the features remain unchanged, but the absolute timing parameter is modified much the rate at which the movement is made. The second question, what do movement scientists mean when they say that relative timing is invariant feature of generalized motor program? What implications does this have for performers who practice their movements at different speed? So scientists started looking for possible invariant characteristics in generalized program in 1970s. They discovered the most important invariant function or invariance that deals with the temporal or timing structure of movement patterns. This inconsistency is known as relative timing. For example, in rhythmic gymnastics, this sport combines the elements of gymnastics, dance, and calisthenics. In order to execute this properly, it needs to have an appropriate music or rhythm to perform the gymnastics very well, because it needs to deal with the temporal structure or timing of movement patterns. Third question, under what conditions are performers' movements more spatially accurate as the person decreases his or her movement time? What implication might this have for an elementary physical education instructor who is teaching children how to throw or kick a ball toward a target? Speed accuracy trade-offs in very rapid discrete movements. Scientists have studied such factors by examining aiming movements, where participants attempt to make a single movement with handled stylus from starting position to a target. The performer is instructed to produce the movement in particular time, receiving feedback about the actual movement time after each attempt. In these studies, the experimenter systematically varies the instructed movement time and movement distance. So the elementary physical education teacher will teach the students on how to throw or kick the ball onto the target. This includes the rapid movements of the children to hit the goal. And the last question for this activity is, explain how an error in a low-level central nervous system process might cause a player throwing darts to miss the target area she is aiming for. The player might miss his or her target or goal in playing darts. Scientists have known for a long time that even though an actor tries to generate the same force on successive trials, the person experiences significant inconsistency in movement outcomes. Scientists now conclude that the comparatively or noisy system in the central nervous system are to blame for this variability. So that's it. Thank you for listening.